I found a better man, darling. Been seeing him for 3 years.
I dropped my bag by the door. It was just after 9 p.m. The house was dark, quiet, too quiet for a Friday. I had texted her from the airport, home early, got you something, and expected at least a lazy welcome back or the clatter of her heels coming to greet me. Instead, silence. I walked into the living room. Her favorite throw blanket was gone from the couch. The vase her sister gave us for our anniversary, gone. I blinked. Something was off, but it wasn't until I reached the bedroom that everything turned cold. Her side of the closet was empty. Hangers still swayed like they'd been yanked a moment ago. The scent of her perfume lingered faintly in the air, ghost-like. No suitcase. No shoes. Not a damn thing. I stood there, frozen, trying to make sense of it. Had we fought recently? Had I missed a sign? No. Everything had been normal. Or so I thought. My phone buzzed. One message. From her. I'm moving in with someone more successful. Don't call. That was it. No name. No explanation. Not even punctuation. Just a cold, calculated punch in the chest. Her name is Tessa, my wife of 6 years. Beautiful, smart, ambitious, and apparently a complete fraud. I used to love that she was fiery. Now I realized she was just flammable, and she burned everything on her way out. I didn't text back. Didn't ask questions. Didn't beg. I stared at the screen, numb, and then calmly called my lawyer. James, she's gone. I want everything locked down by morning. That night, I didn't sleep. I didn't cry either. I just sat at the kitchen table with a bottle of whiskey, staring at the spot where she'd once stuck those cheesy little posts that said, "Love you, babe." I guess I was just a placeholder until someone richer rolled in. By morning, the paperwork had started. Bank accounts frozen. Property titles secured. Access codes changed. I wasn't about to be the sad, broken man she expected to leave behind. 48 hours later, that's when the panic set in. It started with a single call from her number. Ignored. Then 5 missed calls. Then 10. Then 30. By the time I hit scroll, I had 42 missed calls, 23 texts, and a 2-minute voicemail. I didn't listen to it. Not yet. I already knew what it would say. The realization had hit her. She left with nothing. No cash. No house. No car. Nothing. Because everything was in my name. See, Tessa never paid attention to details. She was too busy flashing smiles at strangers and living like she was already a CEO's wife. Well, she was. Until she wasn't. And here's the part that'll stick with me forever. She texted again. You don't understand. He's not who I thought he was. I made a mistake. Please, can we talk? That's when I laughed. The kind of laugh that tastes bitter in your mouth, like smoke after a fire. I hadn't heard her voice yet. I was saving that voicemail like a grenade, pulling the pin when I was ready. Instead, I poured another drink, sat back, and let the silence wrap around me like armor. Because for the first time in weeks, maybe months, I felt in control again. This wasn't heartbreak. This was the beginning of something else. Something dangerous. And I wasn't about to let her slither back into this house with crocodile tears and sweet little lies. No, this story, my story, was only getting started. Monday morning hit differently. Usually, I'd be back from a trip, coffee in one hand, Tessa in my arms, half listening to her go on about some podcast or yoga gossip. This time, it was just me and the quiet hum of my espresso machine. No trace of her left in the kitchen. Even the mug she used, the one with Boss Babe printed in tacky gold, was gone. Like she wanted to erase herself, or maybe thought I'd fall apart without her. I didn't. Instead, I played her voicemail. Not because I cared, but because I wanted to hear her lie. Her voice cracked almost immediately. Ethan, I don't know what I was thinking. I messed up. He's not who I thought. I got caught up. Can we talk? Please? Don't do this. I still love you. I do. Classic. Nothing about what she did. No apologies. Just panic, regret, and a desperate hope I was still that soft-hearted idiot who adored her unconditionally. That man was gone. Curious now, I dug a little deeper. My friend Jordan works in cybersecurity. I asked him, can you find out who she left me for? He delivered in less than 6 hours. Sent me a full social media sweep, screenshots, and the biggest slap in the face I'd seen since her text. The guy's name was Chase Dalton, early 40s, investment coach/influencer. One of those grinning clowns who flashes watches and fake jets to sell hustle courses online. Tessa had left her husband, me, for a man whose entire Instagram was rented cars and motivational quotes stolen from Pinterest. And the cherry on top? Chase had a girlfriend. Two, actually. Neither of them was Tessa. I scrolled through videos of him bragging about financial freedom, while his comments were flooded with dudes calling him a fraud and women tagging each other with you. It hit me. She didn't just betray me. She downgraded. Hard. And now she was blowing up my phone because her shiny dream guy turned out to be a used car salesman in a Gucci belt. I didn't respond. Not when she texted, "Can I come get a few things I forgot?" Not when she called from a blocked number. Not even when her mother, Linda, messaged me on Facebook saying, "Don't be cruel, Ethan. She made a mistake. Everyone deserves a second chance." Oh, the irony. Linda once said I was lucky to be with Tessa, like she was some rare prize. But now the family was crawling back because their little queen ended up broke, betrayed, and begging. I called my lawyer again. "Can we change the locks legally?" He said, "Already filed the paperwork. She has no legal right to re-enter. You're covered." That night, I slept with peace I hadn't felt in years. But the storm hadn't passed. It was just forming. Because the next day, I got an envelope taped to my front door. No postage. No name. Just a piece of paper inside with a photo of me and Tessa at our wedding, and one handwritten note. "You don't get to win." It was her handwriting. I'd know it anywhere. She wasn't giving up. She was coming back. But what she didn't know is, this time, I was ready. It was Thursday when the doorbell rang. I was in the middle of a Zoom meeting with a client when the chime cut through the house, sharp and impatient. I muted myself and stood up slowly, already knowing who it was. I didn't look through the peephole. I just opened the door. There she stood. Tessa. Wind in her hair, wearing the same beige coat she used to call our lucky coat, the one she wore on our honeymoon in Lake Tahoe. But she wasn't smiling like back then. She looked tired. Makeup slightly smeared. Eyes puffy. A half-forced smirk on her face, as if pretending this wasn't humiliating for her. "Ethan," she said, her voice breaking a little, "we need to talk." I didn't say a word, just leaned against the doorframe and watched her try to sell me whatever story she had rehearsed in the mirror. "You didn't answer my calls," she said softly. "I figured, maybe if we could talk in person." "You figured wrong." Her jaw clenched. That smirk vanished, replaced with the familiar flicker of entitlement. The one I'd seen when waiters got her order wrong. When things didn't go her way. "I left a few things," she said, trying to maintain composure. "Stuff with sentimental value. My journals. Grandma's necklace. You know, I'd just like to come in and grab those." I crossed my arms. "You mean the same journals you packed 3 days ago? Along with the necklace, the coat, and every piece of jewelry I ever gave you?" She blinked, hesitated, and for a second, I saw a crack in her performance. "I didn't take everything," she said, the tone already shifting. Defensive. Sharp. "I didn't expect you to act like this. I thought you were better than." "Better than what, Tessa? Better than the man you walked out on without warning? Better than the guy you didn't even have the decency to break up with in person? You left a text." She inhaled sharply. "I made a mistake, okay? No, you made a choice." There it was, the silence. That awful, pregnant pause where she couldn't lie fast enough. And then, the attitude returned. "You're being dramatic," she snapped. "You think you're punishing me, but you're just proving how petty and weak you are." That's when I stepped forward and pulled the door halfway closed. Not slamming it, not yelling, just slowly reclaiming my space. "You don't live here anymore. Your stuff, what little you left, is boxed up and with my attorney. You can pick it up there." "Oh, so you called your lawyer?" Her laugh was dry. "Wow, you really planned all this, didn't you? You think you're so in control now." "I don't think I am," I said calmly. "I know I am." She didn't move, just stood there, trembling between rage and desperation. Then she tried one more trick. "I was scared," she whispered. "Scared of losing myself. You were gone all the time, Ethan. Work always came first. I felt invisible. Chase made me feel alive again." There it was. The justification. The "it's your fault I cheated" speech. The subtle blame. The rewriting of our marriage. I looked her straight in the eyes and said, "If Chase made you feel alive, why are you standing on my porch?" Her eyes filled with tears. Real or fake? Hard to tell anymore. "Because he lied to me," she muttered. "He's not who I thought he was." I don't have anywhere else to go. I nodded, let it sit for a beat, then closed the door in her face. Not slammed, not locked with a scream, just closed. And as I stood there in the quiet that followed, I didn't feel triumphant. I didn't feel cold. I felt done, but she wasn't. 5 minutes later, she keyed her number into the gate. Nothing happened. The new code had already been changed. She stood there staring at the keypad like it betrayed her too. That was the moment I realized something critical. She hadn't come back for me. She came back for comfort, for control, for the safety she thought would still be waiting with arms wide open. But that man was gone. She didn't leave him. She killed him. The next morning, I found a note tucked under my windshield wiper. It wasn't sealed, just a folded piece of notebook paper, smudged with fingerprints and, I assume, tears. I didn't open it right away. I stood in the driveway, coffee in hand, staring at it like it might explode. Eventually, curiosity won. Inside, in handwriting I once knew better than my own, it read, "You don't have to hate me. I never hated you. I just forgot how to love you. Please don't erase me." I crumpled it and tossed it into the garbage can on my way back inside. Tessa wasn't grieving me. She was grieving the perks of me. The house, the stability, the lifestyle, the safety net. She missed being able to drop $1,000 at Nordstrom without a second thought. Missed being called Mrs. Blake at charity galas. She didn't love me. She loved the stage I built and let her perform on. Now she had no audience. And worse, no script. I found out through a mutual friend, Ava, who never liked Tessa but kept polite for my sake, that Chase had ghosted her. Blocked her number. Apparently, he'd been stringing along multiple women, promising each one she was the one. Classic fraud. Tessa had jumped from a yacht to a leaky canoe, and now she wanted back on the cruise ship. But I wasn't waiting at the dock anymore. Ava also sent me screenshots. Tessa had posted a story to her private Instagram, the one I wasn't supposed to know about, where she wrote, "Some people punish you for not loving them perfectly. Sorry, not sorry," with a photo of her in front of a motel mirror. Hair curled, smile forced. The caption didn't sting. It confirmed everything. She wasn't sorry. She was just exposed. And bitter. I didn't reply. Not to her. Not to Linda. Not to anyone trying to mediate the fallout she created. Instead, I kept building forward. I rejoined the gym I used to go to before marriage turned into managing a high-maintenance adult child. I started cooking again, reading, sleeping without anxiety knots in my chest. And then something happened I didn't expect. I got a call from Aaron, my brother. "Hey," he said, hesitant. "Did you know Tessa's been messaging our cousin Tara?" I froze. What? What? She said you're having a breakdown. That you've gone cold and are trying to ruin her life. She's painting herself like the victim, man. I laughed, but not because it was funny. She really can't help herself, huh? Aaron sighed. "I just thought you should know. Tara didn't buy it. Nobody's buying it." I thanked him and hung up. Then I sat down and wrote out everything. Not a revenge plan. Not a letter. Just the full timeline. The texts. The day she left. The voicemail. The door incident. Everything. I needed to see it with my own eyes. How fast it all collapsed. How clear the signs were in hindsight. And there was one memory that haunted me more than the rest. 3 weeks before she left, we had dinner with a few couples. Tessa was all smiles and flattery, the perfect wife act. But when I excused myself to the restroom, I returned to find her whispering something to Amanda, one of our friends. Amanda went quiet the rest of the night. I remembered asking her about it later. She just smiled and said, "Nothing important." I knew now what she had said. She was planting seeds, setting the stage for her exit, quietly rewriting our marriage in other people's minds so when she left, she'd have a chorus of "Poor Tessa" ready. She was strategic, calculated, always 5 moves ahead, until she slipped. Until she got greedy and sloppy and selfish in ways even she couldn't disguise. But the real twist? I wasn't even angry anymore. She hadn't broken me. She'd freed me. From the lies, the manipulation, the constant emotional whiplash. I wasn't healing from a heartbreak. I was recovering from a long con. And for the first time in years, I finally had the upper hand. It was raining the night she tried to break in. Not a dramatic storm, not thunder and lightning. Just that cold, relentless kind of rain that soaks the world in quiet tension. I had just gotten home from dinner with my buddy Noah, who insisted on treating me to steaks and cigars to celebrate your freedom, man. It was close to midnight when I noticed the side gate was unlatched. That gate was always locked. Always. I paused on the back porch. Every light in the house was off, and I hadn't heard anything unusual. But something didn't sit right. I slipped off my shoes, walked barefoot across the tile floor, and grabbed the bat I kept behind the pantry door. Call it paranoia or instincts. Either way, I didn't feel safe. Then I heard it, the faint creak of the back sliding door. Someone was inside. I didn't shout, didn't panic. I walked silently into the hallway, my grip tightening around the bat's handle, and then I saw her. Tessa, dripping wet, her hair stuck to her face, makeup ruined, wearing the same oversized hoodie she used to steal from me and sleep in. The nerve to come back in that. Like it gave her some claim. She froze when she saw me. We stared at each other for a full 5 seconds before she whispered, "Ethan." And then, unbelievably, she smiled. "You didn't change the backdoor code." I blinked. I didn't need to. The alarm went straight to my phone. "The police are already on their way." Her smile faltered. "You're lying." "I'm not." She dropped the act. "You're seriously going to have me arrested? Over this? You broke into my house." "Our house." I laughed. "You gave up the right to say our the second you walked out and called someone else more successful." She stepped forward, dripping water onto the hardwood floor, hands raised like she was the victim. "Ethan, please." I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was choosing freedom, but it was just chaos. I've been staying in places I can't even afford. I thought Chase would. "Chase?" I interrupted. "The same Chase who apparently forgot to mention he was engaged?" Her face dropped. "You didn't know?" I tilted my head. "Wow, you're slipping." She looked like a kicked dog. But I wasn't there for sympathy. "Not this time. I just need somewhere to stay," she murmured. "Just for a night. I don't have anyone." "You had me," I said. "You had everything. And you threw it away like it meant nothing." She moved closer. "But I still love you, Ethan. That never changed." I stared at her. "No, Tessa. You love the idea of me. The safety, the money, the control. But not me. You lied. You cheated. And when the fantasy collapsed, you came crawling back like nothing happened." Her voice broke. "I made one mistake." "No. You made dozens. And you called them choices. You thought I'd be too heartbroken to fight back." She sniffled. "You're really calling the cops?" "No need." She turned toward the voice. From the hallway, Jordan, yes, my friend Jordan from cybersecurity, stepped into view. He was holding his phone, recording the whole thing. "Already got enough footage," he said. "You're on camera from the second you opened the gate." She looked between us. "This is a setup." "No," I said, stepping aside. "This is evidence." That's when the doorbell rang. Blue and red lights pulsed outside. She froze, panicked. "Ethan, please, you don't have to do this." I stared at her one last time, really looked. At the face I once kissed every morning, the woman I once planned children with. And now, just a stranger soaked in rain and regret. I already did. She was escorted out 10 minutes later. Jordan stayed behind. Neither of us said much. He handed me the footage, clapped me on the shoulder, and went home. I poured a drink and stood in the kitchen, replaying everything. It didn't feel like victory. It felt like closure. The final nail in the coffin of a love that died long before she packed her bags. She didn't break into my house that night. She broke into her own delusion and found reality waiting. 3 days after the break-in, I started getting tagged in TikToks. At first, I ignored them. My mind was already moving on. I'd blocked Tessa's number, changed my gate code again, filed the incident report with the police, and even scheduled a weekend trip to Colorado just to breathe new air. But then my phone started lighting up, texts from friends, co-workers, even people I hadn't heard from in years. "Bro, you seeing this? Dude, your ex is losing it online. Check TikTok. You're literally trending." I opened the app, searched her name, and there it was. The first video had 78K views. Posted by her. Tessa sat in a car, face done up, tears glossing her eyes, with soft instrumental music playing in the background. The caption read, "To the man I betrayed, if you ever see this, I'm sorry." I watched. She spoke with carefully timed sniffles, broken voice, perfect lighting, and a whole paragraph of fake accountability. She didn't mention me by name, but she said things like, "I left a man who loved me more than I loved myself, and I chased a lie. He didn't deserve the pain I caused him. If I could take it back, I would. I'd fight for us." The comments were insane. "You're so brave. He should forgive you, queen. This is growth." I laughed so hard I nearly spilled my coffee. That video wasn't for me. It was for the algorithm. Sympathy clicks. Reputation rehab. She wasn't healing, she was marketing. But what she didn't expect. Jordan. He had uploaded a stitched version the next morning. It started with her crying, her soft voice trembling. Then it cut immediately to the security footage from my house. The time-stamped video of her creeping through the gate. The moment I confronted her. Her words. I just need somewhere to stay. You didn't change the code. The whole thing. Jordan didn't even say a word in his video. Just captioned it. Accountability without context is manipulation. It went viral in hours. Her comments turned fast. Wait, is this real? You left him and broke into his house. Nah, girl. You don't get to play victim and criminal. She turned off comments. Then deleted the video. But it was too late. The internet's like a wildfire. Once it starts, you can't contain it. Screenshots. Duets. Memes. She became the face of betrayal. And I, somehow, the unwilling poster boy for quiet revenge. I didn't ask for any of it. But I won't lie. Watching the truth drown her curated fiction was satisfying. She messaged me one last time. From a new number. I only saw the preview. You've humiliated me. You had no right to. I blocked it without reading the rest. You want to walk out? Fine. You want to cheat? Live with it. But don't act like you're the victim when your mask slips. I didn't respond publicly. Didn't clap back or gloat. That wasn't my style. But I did post one thing. Just a photo. Me, sitting on the porch with my dog, coffee in one hand, book in the other. No caption. That post did more damage than any rant ever could. Because peace, real peace, is louder than drama. And she couldn't fake that. Later that week, I ran into Amanda, one of the women from our old social circle. She smiled, hugged me, and whispered. I always knew she was full of it. We just didn't know how to say it. I nodded. Now the whole world knows. Glad you're free, she said. You look lighter. I did. I felt it too. For months, I thought I'd never feel whole again. Turns out, I was just finally clearing space for someone better, someone honest, someone real. Tessa may have owned a part of my past, but she didn't get to write my future. The envelope was thick, clean, and heavier than I expected. My lawyer, James, slid it across the polished table with that calm, deliberate professionalism he was known for. Everything's finalized, he said. You just need to sign. She's already done her part. I stared at it for a long moment. It didn't shake in my hands, not like I expected. No tremble, no hesitation. Just a slow inhale, and then I flipped it open. There it was. Tessa Elizabeth Blake, formerly Pearson. My name next to hers. One last time. A paragraph of legal jargon. A signature line. Freedom in black ink. James cleared his throat gently. We got you the house, the car, the investments. She didn't fight. Not once. It's like she wanted out, just not like this. I nodded. She always wanted to make an exit. She just thought it'd be on her terms. She also signed the NDA, he added. She can't post anything else about the marriage. I almost smiled. Almost. I picked up the pen. Clicked it. Paused. It's funny, I said, how fast a life can be undone. 6 years together. One flick of a wrist, and it's over. James gave me a look. It was already over, Ethan. This is just the receipt. He was right. I signed. That was it. No dramatic music. No thunder. Just the sound of pen on paper and the soft click of the folder snapping shut. I stood, shook his hand, and walked out of the office like I had just left a dentist appointment. Relieved, numb, strangely lighter. Outside, it was sunny. Annoyingly bright, actually. One of those days when people fall in love in movie montages. But for me, it was the day I finally stopped bleeding. The ghost of Tessa still lived in some corners of my house. The chipped paint where she hung her vanity mirror, the faint smell of her perfume in the guest bathroom, the Mrs. wine glass she forgot in the dishwasher. But she no longer lived in me. And I didn't realize just how free I was until I walked into that same living room where I first found the closet empty. It wasn't just her stuff that was gone now. It was her energy, that subtle tension, the performative affection, the nagging expectation that I'd always be more, richer, stronger, cooler, flashier. Now, the room was mine. I poured a glass of whiskey, not out of pain, just tradition, sat down on the couch, and opened the photo album she never bothered to take. Our wedding. Her forced smile. My stupid, hopeful eyes. I flipped through it all. Not to reminisce. To say goodbye. I tore out one page, the one where she stood with her arms wrapped around my neck, kissing my cheek. I stared at it for a beat, then fed it into the fireplace. The flame caught fast. I burned every photo after that, one by one. Methodical, not out of rage, out of release. Like shedding old skin. That night, I slept in the center of the bed. My bed, my house, my rules. No one telling me to dim the lights. No silent treatment. No performative cuddles that meant nothing. Just silence. Peace. In the morning, I opened the window and breathed in the air like it belonged to me again. I made pancakes for the hell of it. Played old blues music while shaving. Wore cologne I hadn't touched in years. I was reclaiming me. Later that day, a letter arrived in the mail. Handwritten. No return address. I didn't need one. Inside, a single sentence. I hope you're happy. No love, no apology, no name. Just that. I stared at it for a moment, then wrote my reply on the back. I am. Folded it. Walked it outside. Dropped it in the trash. Didn't even flinch. This was closure. Not the kind they write in movies. Not screaming, not slamming doors. Just stillness. Acceptance. And a deep understanding that some people are lessons, not partners. Tessa taught me what love isn't, what loyalty should look like, and what I'll never settle for again. 3 months passed. Enough time for the dust to settle, for people to forget the scandal, the posts, the drama. The internet had moved on, as it always does, and so had I. Slowly, intentionally. I didn't rush into dating. I didn't download any apps. I didn't go to bars looking for validation or cheap affection. I did something much more uncomfortable. I spent time alone. It was strange at first. The silence. The empty weekends. Waking up with no one next to me and realizing I didn't miss her. I missed the idea of her. The illusion I had clung to for far too long. I started running again. Not from anything. Just down the trails behind my neighborhood. Fresh air, good shoes, and a playlist that didn't make me think about her. Music used to remind me of her. Now it reminded me of me. Who I was before I built my life around someone who was never building with me. Only using my hands to build her throne. Then came the bookstore. I was picking up a gift for a coworker. Something harmless, neutral, when I bumped into her. Not Tessa. Claire. She was reaching for the same paperback I was. One of those accidental moments that felt rehearsed by the universe. We both laughed. Take it, I said. I'm more of an audiobook guy anyway. She smiled, and something about it was different. Real. No calculated glimmer. No hidden hook behind her eyes. Are you sure? She asked. You look like you might actually read. I used to, I said. Took a break for a few years. Bad books? She asked. Worse company. She laughed. Loud, honest, unfiltered. And for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel bitter. I felt present. We got coffee. Not a date. Just two strangers extending a conversation because it felt good. Claire was easy to talk to. She didn't ask about my past. She didn't overshare. She just existed beside me in a way that felt peaceful. We met again a week later. Then again. Then again. No games. No pressure. Just something new and clean unfolding naturally. And here's the crazy part. I didn't tell her about Tessa for over a month. Not because I was hiding it, but because I wasn't living in it anymore. It wasn't until we were sitting on a bench at the park, watching a kid chase ducks, that she asked gently, "Have you ever been married?" I nodded. Yeah, once. She didn't prod. Just waited. She left. I added after a beat. For someone flashier. It didn't work out. She came back. I didn't let her in. Claire smiled. Good. That was it. No judgment. No pity. Just acceptance. I didn't realize until that moment how rare that was. We're still taking it slow. I don't know what the future holds, and I'm not rushing to define it. I'm not looking for replacements anymore. I'm not trying to prove anything. Not to Tessa, not to the world, not even to myself. I'm just living. Fully. Authentically. I redecorated the house. Took down all the wedding photos. Repainted the bedroom. Donated everything that had her fingerprint on it. Not out of hate. Out of closure. I even adopted a dog. A rescue mutt with one floppy ear and a bad attitude. I named him Knox. He doesn't judge. He just follows me around and guards the house like it's his kingdom. I think we have that in common. Sometimes I still think about Tessa. Not in a longing way. Not even in anger. Just as a reminder. Of who I was. Of how far I've come. If I had to leave anyone with advice, it'd be this. When someone shows you they don't value your loyalty, don't argue. Don't beg. Don't fight to stay in a place you were never respected in. Just walk, quietly, with your head high, and your future wide open. Tessa left chasing someone she thought was more successful. But I found something she never will. Peace. And that's worth more than anything she ever could have taken from me.